Three Tuolins stood outside a door on a mission to protect an ultimate energy space within and talk to each other. The area around them is nothing special like other places in paradise, with iridescent lights radiating from the rocks, plants, and flowers, blending and radiating light to all the surrounding planets. The beauty of the aura and the purity of peace are normal things on this planet, and even children feel bored. This contrasts the world people live in because people only hope that after they die, their souls will return to heaven. They think they will be immortal when they live in paradise, free from suffering and sorrow, and enjoy this peaceful world. This shows that all people inside of them are souls. Tuolins, they have forgotten all their roots and no longer have any memories of their homeland, paradise. They don't know that the children in heaven long to be incarnated as humans to practice in the human world. They need to remember their mission. As the three adult Tuolins were talking, they discovered from afar the silhouette of the first Tuolin approaching them. They immediately stopped talking, adjusted their clothes to be more dignified, and looked more majestic. In a moment, Nalanda stood before them. The three Tuolins leaned forward to greet him.
Father, do we need to open the door?
He nodded and said,
Please call Jiak and Fap here, then everyone comes inside. I will talk to you.
Right after that, the two Tuolins went to invite the other two Tuolins to come. One opened the door to let him in. When the door is opened, golden rays of light shine outside. This is the most unique type of light in the universe. Nothing can describe the feeling of having that light shine on your body. The body becomes warm, peaceful, and full of vitality. Besides, golden energy particles floating inside the door were revealed when he stepped inside. Inside is a vast space containing shiny yellow super energy particles, which are the smallest super energy particles. After closing the door, the remaining Tuolin followed him inside, and they both looked at the space containing this unique super energy. The two did not say a word to each other, and they continued to look at the super energy particles. They float, keeping an even distance from each other without jostling. Because they always rotate around themselves, the light from them blends to create the splendor of the aura in this space. Suddenly, in a tranquil and peaceful space mixed with a magical aura, the door opened, and four Tuolins entered and approached him. They leaned over and bowed to him. They all continued without saying anything in this magical space, seemingly feeling the achievements of their practice, their experiences of suffering, and the transformation of the original yin and yang embryo in themselves. After a while, Nalanda said to the five Tuolins,
Sit down, now I want to talk to you.
When they sat down opposite him, he immediately asked,
How do you feel in here?
We feel peaceful, free, pure, warm, full of life. Nothing can disturb us while staying here.
All five Tuolins said together. Next, he gently explained,
To have purity, peace, freedom, no more afflictions. It is the result of experiencing suffering in the human world, then transforming all suffering and reforming the yin and yang embryo within oneself. As a result, the yin and yang embryo become the filter, the machine that produces super energy particles. One of the super energies is the iridescent yellow super energy that you are seeing. This super energy is the main energy source to ensure the whole universe is active and alive. You know, to have super energies to operate and maintain the sustainable development of the universe, we must have a responsibility. The mission of experiencing suffering in human life to transform the yin and yang embryo into an energy filter. However, so far, only I have achieved the filter that produces super energetic particles, so there is not enough energy to supply the movement of the entire universe, especially to protect the universe from the attack of destructive energy from outside.
A Tuolin immediately said,
I have observed and calculated that now is the best time for you to continue incarnating into the human world. Because some Tuolins are already qualified to transform their yin and yang embryos into stable filters. They need you to direct them, to help them transform successfully. I want you to look into that matter.
He immediately replied,
I accept your request. Moreover, it's time for me to transform into a human to upgrade the yin and yang embryo again. At that time, I will produce many new types of super energy, which will help protect and develop the universe better than it is now.
The 5 of them rejoiced and said,
It is wonderful. There will be many Tulians who will become enlightened beings when Father directly guides them in the human world. They will be glad to know this fact and to meet Father in the human world.
Yes, they will be delighted and happy for that, and this will help many other Tulians to release all the toxins in their souls,
he replied. All 5 Tulians looked at each other with surprise and asked him,
Father, could there be people who don't like your presence in the world?
Yes, those are the toxins they need to release from their souls. This is very good for them, because then they will learn to control the energy groups as they interact with them, and they will be qualified to transform their embryos of yin and yang,
he replied. The 5 Tulians immediately said,
Please explain more for us to understand.
He looked at each of the Tulians around him in turn and said,
Today, I will thoroughly explain the function of each of the Tulians in all of you, and then you will unite as one and understand what I have said. Chap, you are an adult intellectual spirit, Tulian. You have been chosen by me as one of the 5 messengers for me. I named you Chap. Your task is to observe all the Tulians incarnating as humans in the human world, and each Tulian will be in a body. I call it a soul. You watch the vibration of negative energy particles in each soul. When they vibrate beyond the threshold, they tend to show conservatism, clinging, and arrogance in what they have or do not, wisdom, love, and action. Then you must help them release all the toxins in the negative energy particles, especially their original negative particle. That is, you transmit more information, create the right environment to captivate, and fascinate the nature of their toxins to be fully revealed. Even if they suffer because of the toxins in their souls, you must continue to help them release the toxins. You are not allowed to prevent their poison from releasing because of love and ignorance when you see them suffer. They cannot transform their yin and yang embryos if they don't remove all the toxins. As a result, they will be disintegrated by the destructive energy. Their toxins are active in all the interacting situations of human life, so you must not leave out ingredients to increase their suffering and their ability to force detoxification. As a result, there is not any Tulian that without your help to force out the toxins of attachment, conservatism, and arrogance. San, you are also a mature Tulian. I named you San. Your mission is to help the Tulians practicing in the human world reveal all the natures of impulsiveness, impatience, winning and losing, killing each other, and killing other species. The toxins in each Tulian are secrets. They are countless, and they will explode in environments with extreme pressure, compression, in possessing or without possessing, in love, in intelligence, and actions. You must carefully observe all souls in human bodies in the human world. When the negative energy particles in them vibrate beyond the threshold, they tend to become out of control through behavior, such as impulsiveness and impatience, winning and losing and killing. Then you have to add more environment and information to help them have more pressure on them. When they develop toxins related to that toxic tendency, they can identify them after experiencing suffering. They will eventually learn how to force those toxins out of their Tulians and transform their yin and yang embryos. All the Tulians practicing in the human world are the objects you must help, and the toxins related to your mission in the Tulians are countless. Their toxins will erupt in all interaction situations in the human world, so you need to observe to help them. Han, you are also a Tulian with many achievements and maturity. I named you Han because your mission is different from Chap and San. The toxins that need to be removed from all the Tulians that Chap and San are helping them with are easy to see. However, your task is to help all Tulians practicing in the human world to force out the most difficult to detect toxins in the yin energy particle system and the root yin particle of each Tulian. When each Tulian is practicing in the human world, from clinging, arrogance, conservatism, superiority, impatience, impulsiveness, and killing, the most unrecognizable poison is hatred. The poison of hatred in each Tuolin is hazardous and can kill countless people and countless lives when each Tuolin explodes toxin. Because the Tuolins must get rid of this toxin if they want to grow and survive in this universe, you must increase the material and the environment to help them release the poison of hatred. When they release this toxin, they will recognize it after experiencing suffering, and eventually they will learn how to transform their yin and yang embryos. All Tuolins have this toxin, more or less depending on the secret information in the original negative particle of each Tuolin. Fap, you are also a mature Tuolin. I named you Fap. Your mission is the same as my other messengers. However, your task is to be selective about the objects of Tuolins to help them. That is, whenever there is any Tuolin in the human world who researches, applies any method, or works for any purpose, whether good or bad. At that time, you must transmit more information to them to create an environment to help them release this toxin. That is the kind of toxin contained in the Tuolins when incarnating as humans, and it will be released in any living situation in each live environment. When it breaks out, it is destruction, dividing unity, spreading ignorance, uniting ignorance, causing murder. Then, help them release all these toxins when they only vibrate beyond the threshold until that toxins are forced out of Tuolin. Specifically, in religions and forms of practice in the human world, when people use meditation to find peace, seek and learn about miracles, mantras, and methods of saving sentient beings. Give them what they need and praise them for their extraordinary approach. Thus, the poison within them will be released, and they will realize their poison after they have finished experiencing suffering. They will eventually learn how to transform their yin and yang embryos. Giak, you are like my 4 messengers of Tuolin. You have grown up and have many achievements. I named you Giak. Your task is to help all Tuolins practicing in the human world reveal the toxins in the yin energy particle system and their root yin particles. Your task is selective. You focus only on the toxin that tends to be intellectual. Observe all people, see if they have a poison in their Tuolins that symbolizes intellectual arrogance or not, a poison that symbolizes intellectual inferiority. You help them by spreading more information, creating more living environment for them to release that toxin. Specifically, you create information so that people who are proud of their intelligence are satisfied, from which they will develop the poison of arrogance and think they are intelligent. Create information to help people with low self-esteem about lack of education and knowledge. And the toxin that emerges is that they are self-deprecating with no intelligence. When they suffer, they will recognize this toxin and eventually learn how to force it out and transform their yin and yang embryos. Praising and criticizing the wisdom of every Tuoling in the human world is the task that you must do. Hey children, please unite the tasks of all of you into one whole. Next, close your eyes and feel the poison of each Tuoling that has been, is, and will be activated when incarnated as a human in the human world to practice. Imagine how the environment will manifest when all those toxins are released in all the circumstances.
While all 5 of his messengers focused on connecting and visualizing what he said, Nalanda raised his hand to hold the shiny golden energy particles before him. The wondrous lights from the superparticles radiated and merged with the aura emanating from him, adding to the magnificent beauty of this special space. He looked at the superparticles and said in his mind,
One day soon you will become stronger. That strength comes from the enlightened ones who are nearing completion.
After a moment of silence, the 5 messengers opened their eyes, looked in his direction and said,
Father, if you do not create an environment for the Tuolins to be incarnated as practitioners, the Tuolins will never force their toxins out. It is truly miraculous what you have created in the human world. We have a wish. That is, please allow us to be incarnated in humans with you soon. We also want to squeeze out all the toxins and successfully transform our own yin and yang embryos.
He nodded slightly and said,
I agree with your request. Please prepare everything for this incarnation and complete the squeezing of the toxins as well as the transformation of the yin and yang embryos.
With Nalanda's consent, His 5 messengers could not hide their joy and happiness because it was the best chance to attain full enlightenment.